in my experience, just being out on the road, and I know this has only been one leg, but like, and I guess also like the environment's a little weird, right? Because you already just mentioned the pandemic, but like tour connections are wild. Like the people that you end up meeting
Yeah.
and like are it's so strange, but like sometimes they can be pretty pivotal like in your life moving forward, like just the randomness and how they come in, all of a sudden they have this staying power in your life. Like have you met anybody cool that's like either just personally or like good for business, like moving forward?
Yeah, seriously, every single person that I met was just like out of this world, supportive and amazing. Like I am so it's hard to put it into words because like never really been to California, never drove cross country, and like people being aware of where we are and like who we are, because even at the convention someone was wearing a Black Forge mask in California and I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. But that was really awesome. But one person that I met, he works for that water can company, Liquid Death.
Yeah.
So this was really, really cool. His name is Jeremy. He works for Liquid Death, and it was in Long Beach. And we were at Alex's bar, and he was just like delivering water to the venue, and like he stopped by to say hello, and he was like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're a traveling coffee shop doing this thing. Here's my mission." He's like, "This is wild. We have to figure something out. So you work with Liquid Death." And I was like, "I don't know if that's possible, but that's a cool thought." But
That's awesome.
he put me in contact with their marketing director, and I like emailed them my mission, who I am, what I'm doing, and I was like, "Hey, this is a lawn shop. It'd be really cool if we did something together." Haha. And I'm so used to people not responding to my emails because I get it. Like, I'm just some random chick from Pittsburgh. Like, it's fine. But they emailed me back, and I'm meeting up with him in Colorado. So he's going to load us up with a bunch of water. And we're going to figure out a way to work together in some sort of capacity. If it's just like, hey, we're carrying some of their water. And what we discussed was selling some of it and donating it to the cause. So 100% of the proceeds raised through selling those cans,
Right.
I'll donate to the venues as well.
That's awesome. That's super, super cool.
Yeah.
So I'm familiar with them because they sponsor like a handful of podcasts that I watch. So some of the
Yeah.
video ones, like the dudes are just sitting there drinking this liquid death or whatever. And actually the first time it came out, like there's one podcast that I watch is two co-hosts. And the one is like the guy who's always involved with the sponsors. The other guy's just kind of floating along. And he's like, what the hell is that? Thinking like he's like drinking while they're doing the
Yeah.
podcast. And he's like, dude, I'm obsessed with this. It's called Liquid Death. It's just water. And he's like, I just slug these things. And he's just
Yeah.
chugging water the whole time. It's funny. But
It's
yeah, that's how
good.
I'm familiar. I mean, a good refreshing water anytime. And this is from somebody who will always probably take a beer over water, but like a good refreshing water whenever it's time to have a water is always great.
Always choose Liquid Death.
And the plugs begin.
Yes.
So, I mean, obviously there's a lot left to go, but like you wouldn't consider any of these like stops. None of them have been like a bust. Everything has been relatively successful so far.
So amazing. Like, it's just like playing a show. Like some shows are good, some shows aren't, but you still have a great time and you're there and you get to meet people and again connect. Just like every business I was at and like every single person that I met again was just super supportive, like cared about the mission and followed us on social media, which is really cool. Like I had a couple of connections with like random people. We were at Golden Gate Bridge yesterday in the morning, and this kid parked next to us, and he was just like, "What is this?" And we're like, "Oh, like da da da." He's like, "I want to buy a bag of coffee right now."
Oh,
So Lindsay pulled out a bag of coffee, and he paid us for it. And he's like, "This is so cool. Like, And then last night, same thing happened. We were at a hot spring in the middle of Nevada, and there was this couple, which I haven't seen a person like all day anywhere out in the wilderness. And this couple showed up, and they were in the hot spring with us because there was like 3 pools.
Yeah.
And we ended up talking, and they also bought a bag of coffee from us.
That's so cool. That's so
like
cool.
just out in the middle of nowhere.
It actually gave me chills when you talked about the kid that spotted you at the bridge.